Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Diablo 4. We're going to be actually talking about Diablo 4 for a little bit here. I'm just going to show you my current character in the game for Season 1. I'm going to explain what I've done so far in the game. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on with the latest patch and give you my opinion or my conclusion about the game towards the end of this video. So as you can see, my first character I ever made was a barbarian, and I got it to 100th level. The second character I made, guess what, is a barbarian for the season. I got it to 45th level. And I'm pretty much building the same build that I had before. It's my own unique survival build. I haven't shared it with anyone. He's so tanky and he can do so much damage. It's crazy. It's not a meta build, not even close to anything that you can see on the internet. It's just a build that I have made. But I mean, I'm not into my Paragon board yet. But once I get into my Paragon board, you'll see how, I mean, it's a cool bit. If you saw any of my play from before, you'll see how tanky this thing will become. Well, I want to talk to you about the map and what I've done. So what I did is I started the game in Season 1, and I was first level, and I did the first two quests that sent me over to this city here. And then from there, I went over to Champion's Demise, over to this waypoint, and I've just been running Champion's Demise. So for from 5th level, because I was 5th level when I started Champion's Demise, to 45th level, that's all I've done is run Champion's Demise. And I did it probably, I got 45 levels in probably under 12 hours. I mean, and I didn't put that much time into grinding hard. I basically just decided to do the first two seasonal quests that give you some information about the season, got the 5th level, was over in this area. I said I'll go to Champs, and I have done nothing. You'll see, I've done nothing on this map other than Champion's Demise for 45 levels or 40 levels. With that said, I'll probably get to 50th level and kind of start doing stuff around the world. But with that said, I'm not really into this game all that much anymore. I mean, after the last patch where they nerfed a bunch of stuff, they're going so beyond the pale in one direction in what they're choosing they want to do. First off, I should say, and I've said this before in my videos, I like progression games where you progress all the time with the same character. And if you want to play another tune, you can do that. But there's always a progression. You're not wasting your time. Blizzard has announced, they have put the statistics out, that they lost 70% of their player base after this latest nerf patch. And they knew they had lost 50% of them after they said that they were doing character wipes every season. So they're just hemorrhaging players for this game. But what does it really matter to them? They already got their $70 per game, right? I mean, when what gets me is when you overcharge people for a game, and then you basically have made it so pigeonholed for a selective group of players that, they got your money. It's like a Ferengi. Once you get their money, you never give it back. They're hemorrhaging people, but the thing about it is they have admitted they don't care. They said that if only 20% of the original players that bought the game play the game, that's fine with them, because they have a vision for this game, and they're not going to get off the vision. And for me, that tells me that they're not listening to the community. They're clearly not listening to the community before, first they nerfed the XP grinds, the XP farms, then they nerfed the characters in general, and now they're giving us this season content. And after playing it a little bit, I just don't see the appeal to this game. I mean, if someone told me, Tarkus, you could play the same character regardless of the seasons, from season to season to season, play the same guy if that's what you want to do, I would play the game occasionally. But there's just not enough content in the game. Now, I've been watching a lot of videos about this game and watching some streams about this game. They have not added enough content to the game to warrant starting over for a season. They just haven't. And people are saying that now. They're well into their 70th level. They're past where I am. And they're like, well, geez, why did I start a new season just to get get hearts instead of gems? Because that's what it comes down to. They've created this heart thing that you can get in the game that you can sock it into gear, and basically it's just an overpowered gem. And you scratch your head and it's like, well, is that enough content to drive players to want to play your game if you're just making an uber valued gem that's just called a heart, and that's what you're grinding for? And then the other thing people were complaining about is no end game content. Once you get to the end game, it's just go kill Lilith, you know. And the other day, they were soloing that boss. I watched 2 videos on someone just soloing Lilith by themselves, and it's like, okay, so that's the end game, and that's that. So I guess if you're just looking for something to play with your friends, have a few beers, do a few bong hits, and you just want to laugh and play, I guess there's an appeal to this game. But for me, there's other games out there that give me that portion of interaction with my friends. Games that I feel that I'm progressing in and that I'm not wasting my time. I'm going to continue playing Diablo. I figured might as well get them up to 100th level. But unless something changes from Blizzard Entertainment, their scope of what they want to do with this game, I am done after this season. I promised I'd put 1 season into this game, and once I do that, I am done, uninstalled. And you know your company is hurting when you have to reach out for another entity to sell your product. So if you didn't know, Blizzard Entertainment, I think it's Activision really that owns them now, right? And Microsoft and Activision owns them now. They're moving most of their games to Steam platform, which I think is a great thing. I like Steam. I like to have the continuity of having all my games under one umbrella. But it tells you a lot about a company when they have to make that decision after being around for 20 years, where they have to slap their games on somebody else's platform to sell them or to get players to play them. Well, that's it, folks. That's really what I wanted to talk about. I just hope they add to this game before the season ends, gives us something to rally for, because right now, most of the people I used to play with, most of the people that were really, people that played with me don't play anymore. They just, after they heard about the have to start over, they decided they were done. They went back to the games that they were playing. And considering the fact that there's some amazing games coming down the pike on Steam, Ars Notoria, Riven World's coming out with an update. You've got Blue Protocol that's coming out. You got Starfield. I mean, you got all these things that are coming down the pike. You ask yourself, was Blizzard even trying to retain players? But and I asked that question, knowing what the answer was, is they don't care. They've announced they don't care. They're like, if we only, because they had a niche people that loved Diablo 3. They loved the whole way Diablo 3 went. But that was a small itty bitty community. I think someone told me it was like 12,000 people were still playing that game towards the end of Diablo 3. And those are the people that they're actually focusing on. Those people and maybe a few more. But they're not focusing on those people who will play World of Warcraft for 4 to 5 years straight, playing the same character, trying every raid night to improve their stats and their gear. That's not what Diablo is. Diablo is just play around with your friends, kind of co-op thing, do a little challenging stuff. And when I say challenging, it's not really that challenging, guys. This game, granted, I'm only in World Tier 2. But I've only died 3 times in 45 levels, and the 3 times I died were lag spikes that the server was giving me. So those are so that's the only reason why I don't play hardcore, is because of the server lags I get occasionally, and seems to be the only time I ever die. It seems it's been very easy. Getting these 45 levels were not hard. 45 levels in less than 12 hours. And it just has not been that difficult to play this game. I just wish they undo the nerfing that they currently did with the updated patch that they currently released, and maybe come out and say, look, if people want to play their characters every season, the same one, that's fine. Or give us the ability to clone the appearance. That's the other thing that gets me, is the cloning of the appearance. Is why don't you give me that? I would have been able to love to say, just clone my Eternal character's appearance to this appearance, because the barbarian. And people also say, Tarkus, play other characters. Well, I like playing the barbarian. I have no problem. I find the barbarian to be fun, non-frustrating, OP as hell. Even though they nerfed the crap out of it, I still feel him to be OP. He's comfortable for me. I have no reason to play any other character. And they're like, well, it's about the cosmetics and how you look. And I'm like, I never played a game in my life based on cosmetics and looks. I don't care. I could look like a black dot on the screen for all I care. I don't care. I mean, I've never been that kind of person where, especially a game like this, a top down, look down game. I mean, yeah, I look kind of cute, cool, but that's to me, it doesn't really matter what I look like. And that's the other thing that drove the player base away, that most of the things that you're getting in the seasons are just cosmetics. And if you're a cosmetic freak and you like cosmetics, then this is the game for you. But if you could care less, or you could be a black dot just sitting on the screen, you know, I come from the genre of Pong. I mean, I was alive when Pong was invented. I was alive when Pac-Man was invented. So I'm used to shitty looking stuff. You know what I mean? But you know, the thing about it is I'm also not into the skins. I'm not into what my character looks like. I'm into its numbers, his values. You know what he's going to do in a benefit to a party. But that's the other reason why I like playing the barbarian, because he's a support class. He's a party class. You play with a party. So I mean, that's it. I mean, that's really it for me right now. I mean, I'm not trying to crap too bad on the game. A few of my friends in my guild still play it. They still love it. Again, it's all subjective. It's all subjective to what your taste of video games is. But if you've got limited time and you play as many video games as I play, you've got to say to yourself, what game do I need to put on the bottom of the pile? You know, what game? And this is the game I'm putting at the bottom of my pile. And I didn't think I was going to say that 5 months ago when I bought the game, pre-bought the game. I didn't think that Targus was going to take a $70 game, in my case a $100 game, because I bought the middle package or the top package, and then stick it at the bottom of the barrel. Because honestly, if I play this game once a week for 3 hours, that's enough for me. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.